So, I think someone was talking about the Switch being almost becoming the best selling console of all time. That it might surpass the ps2. The ps2. But like the Switch is like uh, I mean, when PlayStation 1 came out, it was like, oh shit, 3D graphics. And Nintendo 64 was supposed to come out the same year. So, imagine if Nintendo had 3D graphics before PlayStation had them. Would they have sold just as much consoles as the PlayStation 1? So it was like 3D graphics. And But the Switch here, the PS2 is still the most sold console of the time. The Switch is in third place now. The Switch, I mean, some of the games here still have a game actually. Um, still in the plastic. Still in the plastic here. I don't really play. I don't really play that much games anymore. Um, like it's certain uh okay, you play like once in a while, and it really depends. Like if it's a really fun game, uh you can honestly play it. But it's like in the the PS2 era was was really something. Um, but it was the PS2 had it had so many different variety of games, and then it was a different time. People were still using old TVs back then. Old TVs, and it was before HD. HD existed. HD existed, but um, and there was like 3 games on the PS2 that could have HD, HD, but they really didn't. And the controller you still had to press the analog button. Kids now, they won't know what it is. Like, what's the analog button? Because PlayStation, they got rid of the analog button in PS4. So yeah, it was a different time. People were still using, old school TVs, like old TVs back then, and it was before you couldn't download a game back then. You couldn't download a game, maybe on PC, but on console, no, you couldn't download anything back then. So it was different. And then HD came, and people started playing. I mean, shooters existed, but mostly on PC, and there was some, but like there was a lot of variety back then, and it kind of continued, but it started becoming like games where you had a lot of guns in the games. You had a lot of guns, like Uncharted and Infamous. Well, I don't know about Infamous. Maybe that's good. But Uncharted and Infamous, and Nintendo always made. They always had. They always have their games. Um, But like, what if the Switch becomes the? What if the Switch actually becomes the most selling console of all time? That's gonna be interesting. The ps2 is still up there as the best selling console of all time. If you lived through that time, it was really special. Yeah, it was also the last time. I mean, you could still use CRT TVs. You could still use CRTs with PS3, and people were still using them on PS3 and whatever. But it was like the last time you had old TVs, and then HD came around. But the Switch might. Nintendo DS as well. The Switch might actually become the best selling console of all time. For, yeah, I guess that's kind of interesting. Now, so, I guess it is what it is, really.